Okay, so I've come back to do another video. This is the one that I did from my previous video, and I'm not happy. I love the way the tray has turned out, but this yet again has come out with a beautiful bottom but very clear on the side. So what I'm going to do is pick the same colours as I did yesterday, but this time I'm going to do all the pastes that are made by somebody else, not me, because the pigment will be stronger and hopefully it will set better. And out of this, I'm going to make a clock. So what I'm going to do is pour off, and this is a different resin. This resin I'm using is the same brand, but the 360 plus. And this is the one that has given me trouble setting up fast, so I'm going to work quickly. I'm going to pour a little bit off into here because I've made the same glitter combination as I did for the frame of that other one. Then I'm going to pour off into here. Hopefully it will slow down. I've got the same 5 types of colours, but just different pigments. I'm going to pour off, I'm not even going to weigh it, I'm just going to pour off what I think is about the same into each cup, because I'm very conscious of how fast this is heating up lately. And just make it fairly even. I'm just pouring it like this into 5 equal cups or thereabouts. Right. That I will get this. Pour it into here. And hopefully these pigment pastes won't be so transparent. So put that across there and that there. Put that there. Wipe off my stick because I'm working in a really restricted area. Wipe my hands. Give that another bit of a mix. Now, I'm using, I'll show you all of these after. Don't really have time to dwell now, but whenever you're mixing pigment paste and you're going to use it, give it a mix. Drop that in there. I'll leave those lids off for a minute. Purple. Give it a mix. Drop it in. This one, this is the one that I really like. In that one, ultramarine. Let's get another couple of, oh gee, that wouldn't have been good. That in, and then the same brilliant gold, brilliant gold, put that in there. So I'm going to give these a quick mix. Those off so I don't have pigment on the stick. Yeah, that's good. That's a really rich purple. Wipe that one off. You can see that they're not so transparent. Just wipe that one off. Give it another squeeze around. That's good. So far, looking good. Now I've mixed up, what did I do? 120B and 240A. I have no idea how much this mold holds because I haven't made it before. So if I have to do a second lot, I suppose I will have to do a second lot. Get rid of the pigment paste. Give it another squeeze around. That's a bit transparent, but that's okay. Those three are pretty opaque. And this is the mice powder. Now it's starting to warm up, so I have to work fast. Because this does not heat up slowly. This heats up, and bang, it's done. So I'm going to just move this out of here for a minute. I want to edge this here. Just around there like that. You can see what I'm doing, good. Just to give it the same bling. So this can be a clock in a little girl's princess room. Just around a couple of times like that. Then the rest of that, oh, I'll get that off in a minute, can go in here to finish this off. It's the same mix. So I'll just put that there. I'll keep building this up. There like that. I'll fix that up in a minute. This, I'm just going to wipe this. And I'll get all wet wipe. Just want to take this off here and that off there, like that. So now I'm going to put this back here, center that. Now, because that's still got some unmixed mica, I'm going to give it another mix. And that should be good now. I'm just wiping my sticks so I don't end up with a mess everywhere. Got a huge mess in my bin though. That's okay. Just wiping all my sticks. Just move that so you can see it a bit better. Now it's the same drill. I'm going to pour it in the same way that I did last time. Oh, where's that hole? But this time, and I'll put the lids on here for a minute. Just put these lids on. This time, because it's a bit thicker, it should go down and stay. And whatever comes here will push this back. So let's go. Because I really want this to sit with the darker colours on it. I don't want it to be such a light stained glass effect. Make sure when it gets down here that it is actually hitting all parts. Because it's nothing worse than it coming down in streams. So I'm just going to touch it around here so that it will flow down and touch everything. Because if it flows down in a stream, it's going to continue to flow in a stream. See, this one hasn't come down at all, so I have to be careful of that. Okay. Now, it's still going, looks like it's still going to be a fairly light covering, but it won't be as see-through. Sorry, my light's going. That purple's a good colour. Let's see what I can do about this light. Sorry. Oh, that's gone. These don't last very long. So, now, this one. Make sure, see down here, it needs to be just have a little touch there, so it's flowing down here a little bit. Just got to make sure that it does actually not create gaps in on the glass. Yeah, that should be better. can do it any which way, any combination you like. I think I want to end up with the pink. I like the pink. And you can just do it around like that as well. And then the rest of it's going in here, as you can see. And that's flowing much better now. And that goes down there. Yeah, that purple's quite rich and covers well. Just go around like this. And I might just get out that last little bit. Like that. I might do the blue. Just because of the shape of this, you can just do little swirls like that. Okay, that's that one. I might do purple. Really rich. Don't know how this is going to come out. There's a bit more there. That little bit. I'm going to finish it off with the pink, I think. Pink or purple. A little bit there. Do the yellow again, or the gold. Scrape that out. That's scraped out. Just do one more look around here. I just want to make sure that's a much better cover. Much better. Good. And I might have picked almost the perfect amount for the tray. Wow. Just take that out. You've got to make sure you get it right around. Like that. So that's that one done. And last but not least is the pink. And you can sort of do any patterns you like. Scrape that out. Like that. Okay, so that's that done. That's all of those. Just wipe off my stick. Now I have to babysit it for a little while because it's got to stop dripping, or at least reduce the amount of dripping. If I take it off now and put it here, it's just going to run everywhere. So I'll clean up this side here. I love this Teflon. Put that over there. And clean my hands up. Now, this from yesterday, I don't want it just partly there, so I'm going to take this and put it around here. There, like that. And I have to put something under that side, because even though it's all supposed to be level, it isn't. Oops. And that's still dripping off, so I've got to keep that in mind as well. So just let me get the stickiness off my hands. Wipe my hands with a wet wipe, just from Aldi. Now, I'm going to slip this under here, just to bring it back a bit. Now these look like little peacock feathers here, the way that they've swirled around. This is drawing in with the pretty glitter at the edge. I don't know how this is going to come, because the minute I lift this out, it's going to swoosh in. So I'll just have to wait for a little minute. The lids back on all of these things. Leave them over there so I can put them in the links for you guys. Yeah, just clean that up. Just clean this up. I think this will be quite pretty if it works out the way I'm thinking. Oops. Yeah. Just sit down here so I can see how close to the edge that is. Do you know what? That was the perfect amount for that mold. Perfect amount. And I scraped off under here last time. I don't think we're going to do that. I think I'll leave the little droplets there. It's going to end up more purple and gold, I think, but until I see it under the light, I won't know. So I need to wipe some sticks down, clean up a little bit, otherwise everything ends up sticky. And I don't want anybody coming out and touching sticky resin. That's not good. That away there. Spray this. Just wipe. These are great little spatulas. Again, I'll link. These are in the everyday list that I use every day. Just put that over there. Now I forgot to clean this out the last time when I was working this afternoon. So it's got set resin in the bottom of it. I'm always very careful, but I forgot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Set resin won't hurt resin that you're, as far as I know, won't hurt resin that you're mixing currently, as long as it's set. But I'm cleaning it out now, just like that. I spray it with alcohol. Oops. Spray it with alcohol and wipe it out. And then it's ready to go the next time. And when it gets to the point where it's so brittle because of the resin that it breaks, I go up to the cheap shop and buy another one. I think I've got a few in the cupboard over there. That's ready for the next day. And that's there. That over here. I need to clean that. There, 60 ml little plastic cups marked with 60 mils, and I got those from Temu. I also got some 30 ml ones because for smaller amounts, like tonight, where the measuring cup doesn't have 210 or 220, I used 2 of these for 120 and then 4 of them for the 240. Just gives you a more accurate dosage. So that's that one. They're all wiped up, I think. Double check. That's going to look really pretty coming in. Can you see how it's drawing in from the outside to the middle? Now I have to be careful because if I leave it too long, especially with this one, it won't join in the middle. So it's almost time to take that out. This does set up faster than the other one. So I'll be taking that out in a minute. I'm watching how slowly the drips are. Now, empty that. Okay. Yep. Okay, so what you do is you take it carefully and hold it and you lift it straight up. Put it over here. It will keep dripping and this will come in. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I just want to get that under there so it sort of sets up a little bit more evenly. And what I'm going to do is put a unicorn picture down here and make it into a clock. Now that's how it is on this side. I have no idea how it's going to be on the other side, but in this case I can choose which side I use. Yeah, I think, can you see it? That you're getting the light on the ceiling because this light here is not really clear enough and I can't take you down. Hang on, let me see if I can. I'll clean my hands up a bit, they're very sticky. Take these off, see if I can get you down. Right. Let me see if I turn it off, I'll start it again. Just a moment. Now, you can see, isn't that pretty? And how it's drawing in. Now it hasn't drawn in equally because of the way that this was taken off. I just lift that there like that. I would like this to be in the middle. That's better. Whether it'll stay there or not, I don't know. that is so pretty. And then this, it's not going to be as dark as I wanted, but it's a lot darker than I had before. And I think I'll be happy with that. And I'm going to leave these drips here this time. So when this is all set up, I will bring you back. It's unmolding time. This is the second time I've covered this one. I did it the first time when I was doing that lovely little tray, and it came out clear. Well, it didn't come out clear, but it had a very slight colouring to it, and it wasn't what I wanted. So I redid it, exactly the same thing, and instead of dripping it into the tray like I did in the previous video, I dripped it into this clock mould. I'm going to make a princess clock out of this, and this is how this vase turned out. Now if you can see it, you can see it has very, very subtle shades of gold and the pink and the purple, and I left these little things at the top because I just felt I might just take that little sharp one off there, but I just felt that it could handle it. So that's the vase, a short vase. You could have put a little, put a tea light in there actually. Let me see. You could maybe a bigger tea light, but you could put that in a little girl's bedroom as well. Oh, sorry. You could put that in a little girl's bedroom as well, because that would show through. Would look really quite pretty of a night. But this is glass, so if it's a small child, you'd need to put it up high so that it didn't break it. So that's that one. I'll just wipe that. I don't want that there. Just being careful around the resin. So I'll put that there. Now with this one, it's time to unmold, because I don't know. I swirled this after, I think I did it after I turned the camera off, because it wasn't quite centered and I didn't want it going this way. So I swirled it to bring it back into the center a bit. Now I don't know what it's going to look like, whether it's this side or the other side. So let's unmold or demold and have a look to see, and have a look which side we're going to use. I haven't used this clock mold before. It's got a sharp edge because I didn't know how much this held. I made up what was it, about 390, I think. It could have done with probably another 100 grams or 100 mils, but that's okay. I can take this off, and if I decide to use this as the front, I'll go around this with gold after I've taken off the edge. So that's one side. And the glitter's all moved in beautifully. Now on the other side, the glitter may not be showing, so let's have a look. Ah, see? Now that's the other side. And the glitter didn't, see, resin does its own thing. It's still nice, but it's got these blobs of blue here. And remember, this was formed not by me pouring it, but by the dripping off here. So if these blues drop down, that was where those blobs of blue hit. So having said that, I like this side, and that's the side we're going to do. So I will make sure that is not warped. Shouldn't be warped, it was sitting straight and flat all night. Okay, I have gold numbers I'll put around here. I'm thinking of going with the gold, because I've got black numbers as well, but I think if I go with the gold, it'll just keep it princessy. Now under that, I had a couple of ideas. It was either put one of these here and then put a couple of fairies, and I've got fairies somewhere over here. Just a matter of where I have put them. It's in one of these little containers. It's in one of, I've got a little book of stickers. So, let me see if I can quickly find the fairies. Use them. Yeah. But is that going to take away from that? They're not fairies, but yeah, not quite. They're going to detract, I think. So not those ones. I'm just going through this little book. Okay, so maybe I've used all the fairies. Just let me check this other little book that I've got. These are more animals, turtles, butterflies. That with a couple of butterflies might work. Little animals, wrong colouring. Different butterflies. And vegetables. I don't think I've got any small unicorns. And all of these UVT stickers that I've bought, I don't think any of them have small unicorns. Just let me move that so you can see what I've got here. They're animals. They're Australian animals. They're dogs, birds, kookaburras. Not really princessy. I don't think there's any unicorns in here. Let me have a look. Little butterfly might be all right. Oh, I use these for my, yeah, that one might be all right. I just want something here, but something here and here, because I'm going to have the numbers. The gold number will probably, I can't put it there, which is ideally where I'd like to put it, but then it's going to have the mechanism right in the middle of the unicorn. I don't want to do that. They've got all sorts of other animals, but no unicorns. But there is a butterfly on that one, so I'll keep that in mind. The butterfly might work if I just put one up here. So I'll keep that one aside. There. These are Australian animals. Birds. More birds. Highland cows. Australian animals. Frogs. Pussycats. frogs, Australian animals, little elephants, birds that look like they've been electrified, turtles. Now these are the sort of ones that I was looking at. I had some little fairies about this size, but they're into the blues, not the pinks. So they won't be any good. Turtles, and then some flowers and some dogs. Don't think there's anything in here that I could get away with. This is going from unicorn and make-believe back to reality, and I don't want to do that. So, and these are not UVT stickers, so I'd have to put a coating on them, so that's no good. UV, no, they're not, they're just normal stickers, so I won't use those. So it looks like it will be that, and maybe the butterfly. I'll just put all of these back out of the way. Now, would it be that one or that one? So if I had that one, I could put that a little bit further up. That one I could sort of take it up. This one, I could position it. Because these are bigger. Yeah, they're a lot bigger. However, I wonder if I could just get away with that. And see, I could put that other butterfly up here because they've got these butterflies here. A little bit to the side there, so it's not down, so down. Then if I cut this off here and put that there, or there, and then I can put that one there, that might look all right. Okay, I will deburr this. I'll find my numbers, and I will show you how to put this together, but I won't leave it together because this is still setting up, and it should be kept flat while it's setting up because it will warp, especially in the heat that we have here. I'm not so sure, even though it was in the mold last night, not so sure it hasn't gone a bit wonky just there. For some reason, I'll put something flat on that and straighten it out, but I won't be leaving the clock. I'll put it together so you can see how to do it, but I won't be leaving it together. I had to pull the other clock that I did apart. It's just letting it set. I'll come back when I've found my numbers. Okay, so I've sanded this down just with a nail file. I picked gold because I think gold will look better than the silver, and I'm going with the gold hands. So they come like this when you buy them. They're just cheap plastic things, but that's how they come. You can go to stick-on ones, but this is the one that I find easy. You just bend them and they come off here, which is what I've done. Now when you do that, I've also trimmed up. Can you see? Can you see there? I don't know if you can. Let me see. Just here. I've had to trim it up. So now I'm going to come back, and you don't have to do this, but I thought I would today. I'm going to come back and just touch that little area with gold, so it basically disappears. And I've done that on all of these. The way I put these on is I have a little bottle of PVA glue, and I keep it 4 clock numbers that I have to stick on. That the other clock that I did, the penny farthing clock, had the numbers in the mould, so I just filled those with black resin. These ones you stick them on and you place them. So I'm going to place them first. Because I have taken the edge off this, it now has, you can see it there, you can see the edge. To cover that, I don't have the product that Michelle from Glitz and Glitter sells. I have discussed it with her, and she said that she can't really send it out to Australia via email, by eBay. I'm just going to take off this little sharp point here. And what I do is I just go like this, like that. She has tried sending it to eBay to overseas, and it's not working. She thinks customs won't let it come through. So what I will do to cover that, because I don't have that really good product, is I will take a pen, a gold pen. Not sure if I'll do this or this. This is gold paint, and it marks on anything. It's oil based, and it's pretty good. I've got that, and I've got that. This one has a very fine tip on it, and it may go around the edge nicely. This one has a wider tip on it. I think I'll try this one, but I'll see what colours they are first. I want to try and match the gold to this. I don't want to be too different. I'm just going to touch that like that. Oh, very similar. I'll try the fatter one because it might be easier. Now, over here I've got my watch part, and to my annoyance, I went to put the shaft through, and the hole they've made for this particular mould for the clock shaft isn't big enough. It won't fit through. So when it's not raining, I will get my drill out, take this outside, and work out what size hole I need with my drill, and drill my own hole through there and make it bigger. Then I can assemble it. So I won't be able to do that until it stops raining. And because the cyclone is sitting up north off the coast, it could be a few days. The other thing I wanted to show you was this one does not have a little hook. And for those that don't have a little hook, you get these. You can buy these. And I just get all these from Temu. You slide that over here like that. That still sits flush against the back of the clock, but that will then hang from the wall like that. And you just fit it, supposedly, through the hole here, and it comes up like that, and then that will just hang on the wall. So all I can do today until the rain stops is go around with this. Just put those there. And start this. I don't want it to be a huge line. I'm doing it just to cover where the sanded look. Around here, just a slight edge. Like this all the way around. And then I'll show you how I put the numbers on. This will take but a minute. I actually really like these paint pens. I've got another set over there. And again, I'll link everything I can in the description. I will be putting this up onto eBay unless it sells before. So keep your eye out for it. With this, with the little tray I made in I think it was yesterday's video, and then make a little girl's room really pretty if she's into unicorns and fairies and fairy dust, unicorns, all that imaginary stuff, the sparkle that you hope your kids sort of take time to play with their imagination instead of being on the devices all the time. And that tray on their desk. And then I've got another little jewellery box made out of this glitter. They could have their bedroom beautified and set up. Okay, so that's that done. It's quick and easy. I didn't bother doing the side because the side's still got the glitter. It was just to cover that. Now, the next thing is which one of these am I going to choose? Oh, dear woman. Which one? Anybody want to tell me? I put that there. See, I've got to drill that bigger, which means it's going to come into the head here. I could drop it down further, I suppose. But if I drill that bigger, and I'll have to drill from this side so I don't tear this as it comes through. See, that will just take off that. That's not too bad. That one I could possibly get away with because I could bring that down there, and then the rainbow's not even near that, so that's a good one. Same there. That's those two are maybes. Did I try this one? Yeah, I think I did. Then this one can come down there. And then the other thing I've got to think about is the 6 has to sit on top and be seen. Whereas yes, that one could work. That one could work, but if I put this one there and bring that down to there and then put the 6, it could almost just be at the feet. Or if I put this one there and brought it down, the 6 could be in between the feet. All right, hang on for a second. I'll get my scissors. Thinking this one, although no, I think I might have this one. All right, so those out of the way, and I've cleaned this because I cleaned it after I sanded it. The back off. I'm going to move that over here. I don't want to get my head in the way, but I do need to see what I'm doing. Put that there. I don't want to rub right to the edge. I did that on on my granddaughter's little jewellery box, and this left a mark. So I don't want to do that. I want to just pull it off as gently and as quickly as possible. I don't know why it left a mark. There we go. And that's there. That looks good. Now, that means that the 12 goes up here. The 6 goes down here. The 9 goes here. The 3 goes here. 1. 1, 2, 7, 8, 10. I think for children it's probably a good idea. It's probably important to put all the numbers on. As adults we could sort of judge the distance. But for children learning, especially when they're learning to tell the time, it's probably important to have those numbers all on. So that's how it's going to look. And then this, and I can't show you this, but that will be there like that, with this going through it. Like that. So that's basically how it's going to look when it doesn't stick to my fingers. Like that. So how's that look? Yeah, I'm pleased with that. And then this will be on the back. All right. What I'll do is, look, what you do, because I may not be able to put this together for a week with the way the rain is, what you do is you slip this through the hole with this. You put this on this way, I can never remember, this way, no, I don't know, I think it's that way. Then that goes through this hole coming up. Then you put this on and you tighten the nut. Now, if you don't have a hanging hook, at this point, you put this on. Then you put this on, and you put this nut on. I think it's what it's called. And you tighten that all the way down. All right, so that is sitting up through here like that. You tighten all of this and it will tighten up. Don't be afraid. Don't over tighten this nut, but tighten it enough so that the back doesn't move. Once you've done that, and that's sticking up from there, from underneath, you'll notice that both hands have holes. And this always used to confuse me. There's a bigger hole and a smaller hole. The bigger hole goes on first because the shaft has a thick part here. You see that? The thick part and a thin part. Big hole goes on first because it needs to push down onto the thick part. On top of that, so you've got that on there, push down, and then you take the smaller hole and that only has to go onto the thinner part and you push that down. And when you've done that, you make sure your hands are straight because they are flimsy and they will bend. You then put this through the whole thing and it locks it in. That's how you put the clock together. So now I am going to start putting these on. And I have to be very careful. So I'll do a couple of them for you. You just, let me get this upside down. You just put the littlest bit of glue. See, that's probably a bit much, because you don't want it oozing out the side, otherwise it's going to go all over the clock. Just the littlest bit. And then you position it. So now I've got the unicorn there. I want to make very sure I've got it straight, and I go straight up here. And I put it there. I'm working through the phone at the moment. There, like that. Make sure that that's straight, if that's down there and that's up there, because you've got to have the 12 on the other side. So that's one. And then just put a little bit along here. And around here. And this will dry clear, and position that next to it. Now it's important to get the base, 2 bases of the numbers lined up. And I'm going to have to come around here to see that for a minute. Just going, because I can't, I'm working at an angle. Pick this up and have a look. Okay. And let it dry. Now, what I'm going to do is get my ruler. Make sure if I run that through there, that's going through. Yeah, that's good. Double check that, because once this glues, you've got to look at it over the top. Okay, so that's that one. Now I'll do number 6. And you've also got to make sure that you try and get it equidistant from the edge. So I'm only going to do a couple, and then I'll stop the camera, because I need to have my head right in the way to be able to see what I'm doing. So if I get my ruler straight down here. There. Okay, that's how you put your numbers on. I'm going to turn you off now, and I will bring you back with a few photos. As I said, I won't be able to actually put this together in front of you, but I've told you how to do it now. I'll have to drill this out to make it bigger, because these, even though they come in different lengths here, they're basically the same size, excuse me, in diameter. I don't know where you can get any thinner ones, which surprises me with this mould, why they made it such a small hole. All right, I'll finish this. I'll come back at the end of the video with some photos. Okay, see you then. Okay, so it's sunny weather. Yesterday it was stormy, today's sunny. So I went out and I re-drilled the hole. So I will put this together for you. Just take off the bolt and the washer. I think it's important to see how these are done. So this little rubber washery thing goes that way with the stripes up. That goes in. Next, there's this. Now it looks loose. It's not this way. Won't fit. And it's not that way. It won't fit. It's the circle over the circle. That way. Then this comes up through here, And hopefully I've made this big enough now. Hang on. It goes this way, not that way, sorry. So what it's doing, I had that the wrong way, didn't I? See, I had it that way. That's not the way. It goes this way, so it fits over it. Now, this should fit in here. That does. Turn it so that it's towards the 12, which it's not. Well, that goes there. That actually goes there. Battery is opposite. And then that is up to the 12. So if I hold that, you can see that that is now up to the 12. It's still very loose, but we haven't finished yet. This gets slipped on. This gets tied. And I have one of these little, one of these wrenches. Just gets tied, because if you don't tie it tightly enough, it will move. Don't over tighten it, because if you over tighten it, the hands won't move. So just check that again. Move that around so it's up, because you don't want it hanging sideways. That hook's got to be up. Now, as I said, there's two holes. One big one, one small. Big one goes on first, and it just fits on like that. Little one goes on second, and it goes just like this. Doesn't take much. And I always manage to bend them. See? They're very flimsy. A watchmaker I would not make. Try and bend that out straight. That just fits. It was on before. What did I do to it? Right, now that's better. It's got a little bit of a wiggle thing. Now you need to turn it sideways so you can see that they're not going to hit as they go around. Because if they hit, they stop. Put them up to 12. Then this one goes on and this anchors the whole thing. Like that. So now, checking, that's at the top. That becomes your hook to hang it up with, like that. And there it is. You put your battery in the back and off you go. And this is quite tight. And if it's not, you just tighten this little bolt here. And that's the clock finished. Now I'm not leaving it like that because you can see the depth of this in our heat, and the fact that this was only made yesterday, it will warp it. So I'm going to disassemble it after I've taken some photos, and I will keep it flat until it sets up in the next 2 or 3, 4 weeks, unless it sells before that. It will be up in my eBay store, as I said, unless somebody buys it before that. I have I'm sort of thinking, will I sell it in a set? Because I have that, and I have the little tray for the brush and comb, and I have a little jewelry box with this glitter. I have this glass light, and you could put a little tea light in it like this, or a bigger tea light, but I'd only use, because of the resin on the outside of the glass, I wouldn't put an open flame in there. I would just use a battery one. But you can get these little ones, or you can get the taller ones that can go in there. That would be nice. So if you're liking my content, as I said before, please like, share, subscribe. Come back and visit me. I love having you here. I'm getting more used to talking to a camera. In fact, I'm getting so used to it that I'm spending more and more time talking to myself during the day. Anyway, that's the way it goes, I suppose. Please feel free to visit my eBay store. The link will be in the description. Thank you. I'll see you at the next video. Well, I won't see you, but you'll see me. Okay, bye.